Good morning, Archipelago. What is going on? I am zmoT. We are going to get rocking and rolling with some War Factory. I've already uploaded some warships that was recorded yesterday. Lots has changed on my warship since then, but we're going to focus on War Factory. HQ16, 17, what the heck are we even at? We've got Dr. Vitamin. He's not going to be much use to a low level, that's for sure. Do stick around. We will use him for a max level. Terrible statues on this account. As you can see, 22% gunboat energy. I've got heavies loaded for some reason. Thankfully, we got those 500 diamonds from warships, though. Okay, so we got to get rid of some rockets. That's pretty clear. And we got to get rid of some shock launchers, also clear. But hot pots. Hot pots are awful. Hot pots are just the bane of my existence as a low level. Also just not great. So if we had critters, that would definitely help us. But I'm just going to get going. It's early morning here. Trying to get all of the things done. We're going to artillery that. That is called marking. Please know what marking is by now. If you don't know what marking is, hit me up in the comments. I will tell you. You need to know. It is one of the critical little bits of knowledge that you need to know with Boom Beach. We're going to double hack and then die. I don't see any point in resmoking. That flare is going to take out that rocket launcher. The other rocket launcher is damaged. Don't need critters or anything like that. Just double hack. As soon as that light lights up, that button lights up, good to go. And next up, we're going to damage those shock launchers. That's going to help us later on. And otherwise, I don't really have a plan, so we're going to have to figure that out in a sec. That Flotsam is going to be a complete and utter pain in the butt for low level, so I'm just going to throw all of my GBE on that. Can't mark prototypes, you can't hack prototypes. I guess you can mark them, you can't hack them, so Everspark doesn't care about that marking. Ooh, details. That's going to be a bit confusing for someone out there. We're then going to drop Everspark right about here. Now, the Shock Blaster is not a concern. You can double hack right in the face of a Shock Blaster. Just make sure you keep the delay. And speaking of words that people need to know, delay is number 2. I say that every single video, and every single video someone says, what's the delay? What's marking? By all means, hit me up in the comments. I love to answer those questions. I'm just amazed they still exist. It's all good. Everyone's got to learn at some point. Once you learn, though, the knowledge just flows through, and it's magical and amazing and all sorts of good stuff. There we go. So getting all that damage on that there Flotsam, because Flotsam's low level's not a great combo. Also, Hot Pots low level's not a great combo. So this is going to be a bit of a mess. We probably could have just gone out with this with Warriors. Probably would have taken me like 4 hits with Warriors, and I have like level 11 Warriors. Warrior's always a good option, especially when there's no shield gen. So now this rocket launcher, not a big concern. It is a bit of a concern, though, especially because it covers so much ground. Probably should have hacked that as well. And then this plots him at least 36,000. So we managed to get rid of a whole bunch of health there. And now we just need to... You know what? I'm going to hack that rocket launcher. It's just... probably, maybe, possibly don't need to hack it, but you know what? We're going to do it just to be super duper sure, and we only need to use 2 smokes to get there. You'll see that we can just gap a little tiny bit. Everspark's going to pop out, get back under. Didn't have to gap at all, to be completely honest, because as you can see there, she is at the first half of that smoke. So down goes the rocket launcher. Now we're actually going to save Everspark. I'm going to bring her back into here. And hopefully, we're going to walk along the beach over to here. And I'm going to drop my heavies and then some... Uh-oh, frick, she's dead. So that did not go as I had hoped. You know what, let's just retreat. That's already screwed up. We got 2 more attacks. There's still a lot of work to be done, but Everspark would have been incredibly helpful, and that's why we're going to wait for her to come back to life. And now I'm going to switch to Critter Swarm because I need to activate those hot pots. It's just... scary. Anytime you're dealing with hot pots and shock blasters, and actually, you know what? I just wasted a whole bunch of GBE, I'm pretty sure. We could have gotten rid of that Flotsam, so don't do that. I was far too eager to retreat, and now we're going to go something like this. We're going to go heavy Zooka, and then we're going to drop that smoke right in there. I'm going to get into here, and then what we're going to do is a dangerous dangerous gambit. We're going to go something like this, and then I'm going to throw that shock like that. Just trying to get those hot pots shocked while they're up. It is incredibly, incredibly dangerous, but I think my Zookas are the only thing in range. So now that we've gotten rid of those hot pots, we can come, or got them popped up, I should say, we can come in over here and deal with the rest of the hot pots. I don't like hot pots at all, especially on the, low level. Max levels, they're not a big concern at all because you can just throw critters to activate them. But with low levels, you have to be a little bit sneaky. And so we've managed to do that, managed to get rid of the shock blaster and the hot pots, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the rest of my gunboat energy, and we're just going to get rid of that Flotsam, because Flotsams and Zookas, not a great combo. I mean, there is a blind spot, and you can blow them up and run away, and also using Kavan and his Ice Shield is another great way to avoid them, but I don't want to. It's just not worth it. There's so many things that can go wrong, and Flotsams tend to get the better of many, many players. So we're just going to keep throwing our GBE on it. Likely, if you're following this guide, you've already used your GBE from your last attack instead of retreating like a complete and utter dummy. So just cruising along, picking up some free GBE. Our critters are distracting those grapplers for the most part, and I'm going to retreat in a second right about now because there's not a lot of good things that can happen with like 6 Zookas left, and that Flotsam's health is quite low, so we should just be able to come in, take this puppy out, and call it a day. Now, I will come back with some Dr. Vitamin ridiculousness. We've only got 1 attack left. That is not usually a good spot to be in. I also just diamond loaded some heavies, which are completely and utterly not required. So I'm going to get rid of those, waste some diamonds in the process. These War Factories early morning times just don't really work all that well for me, as you can probably tell. I try to get these videos up as fast as I possibly can, but you got to realize I am in a terrible time zone for this stuff. Supercell being in Finland, I understand why they want these things happening in the time zones they are, because that way they can be online, but it's just so frustrating. We're going to go from right about here just because that's a nice little safe spot. Dropping brick last was not an accident. We definitely want to drop brick last, and the reason for that, uh-oh. That machine gun is making me a bit nervous. Okay, managed to get all our troops under there. We're going to use battle orders. We're going to use 2 shocks, and then that should be enough to get rid of most of the headquarters health. And now just battle ordersing, that's a verb, right? Battle ordersing through all of the stuff, and down goes War Factory. So 5 not terribly optimal attacks, but that last one super critical. Make sure you shock that machine gun and those mortars behind the core, and if you can get a couple grapplers with the mortars, that's going to help as well. So I'm going to pause here. We will come back with a better, more ridiculous Dr. Vitamin attack. Do stick around. Back in just a second or 2 or 3. Okay, so now we're going to load up some Dr. Vitamin. I don't have a plan now. Dr. Vitamin, in order for Dr. Vitamin to work, he has to be able to heal. He doesn't actually throw out his goodness unless he has to heal, so we're going to want to take some damage. I tried to do this with a Zooka attack on just not thinking about it, probably before coffee as well, and realized, nope, that is not going to work because he needs to be able to heal. So instantly Zooka's dying means that he wasn't doing anything useful. Now, I don't recommend using Dr. Vitamin when there's grapplers around. Any medics when there's grapplers around, not a great idea at all. So this is going to be just a race against the grapplers, essentially. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to drop my troops. These Doctor whatever the heck they're called aren't going to be doing a heck of a lot of good because they're going to be standing around watching things. But at least we're going to have him out there. So now we're going to shock like this. I am going to get another shock right here just because... Well, there we go. There, Dr. Vitamin throwing some speed serum on Bullet. A tiny little bit of speed serum. Somewhat maybe useful. Also, they don't heal themselves, so they're just going to sit there. If you want to use Dr. Vitamin with and actually have them heal, you need to mix in some regular medics. We're getting a little bit of speed serum thrown on Bullet, also a little bit of healing. This is not super duper ideal under any circumstances. I am going to throw a taunt out there because maybe we can just taunt those grapplers and make them not pull anything else as Dr. Vitamin runs inside. So Dr. Vitamin, I gotta say, not the ideal choice here whatsoever. Trying to taunt, but Bullet is just too shocked, and now we are just watching as bad things happen. So Dr. Vitamin with some Bombardiers, not the right choice whatsoever. I cannot recommend this to anyone. We've already lost Kavan, and thankfully we have instant training, so that is going to help us a little bit. We also possibly could have brought in some Dr. Vitamin with the old-fashioned warriors. Maybe we'll do that just to try to do something somewhat different. I mean, Dr. Vitamin not going to be super useful in War Factory simply because of grapplers. And that is why, if you look at my base, I've got a grappler hidden right there, getting all sorts of intel and diamonds, just grabbing troops. I have a video on that. Hopefully you've already seen it. We can't tell that we have Dr. Vitamin loaded because they look exactly the same as other medics, just like Cryo Bombardiers and Melaniers look like other Bombardiers. Supercell, please just throw a different hat on them or something. It wouldn't be overly difficult. Next up, we're just going to use Brick because I want to do something extra hard just for fun. Then we're going to bring in some Warriors. And Warriors, the chances of any of my medics actually making it there, I would say, are about 0. But we're going to give it a shot nonetheless, just because why the heck not? We're going to drop them first. Now, I did not plan my walk at all. I realize now that I probably should have gone something like into the side, but at least some of our warriors were... Nope, Brick is dead. So the warriors doing something useful. Dr. whatever the heck his name is, not so much. Just shocking and medics and there we go. Little bit of Dr. Medic love. Dr. whatever the heck his name is, Dr. Vitamin. Really though, they're not doing a heck of a lot. So Warriors probably your best bet for this War Factory if you're a max level, simply because it's always a good time to use Warriors. Dr. Vitamin, not super useful. Brick lying dead on the beach. So should have dropped farther to the left, that way I could use that flare, but whatever. It's done. 2 ways to do War Factory. Let me know what troops you used if you managed to get Dr. Vitamin to do anything useful for you. Let's just have one more quick look. Wanted to see if there was any advantage to going right. So if you wanted to use Dr. Vitamin, probably going right is your best bet because the grapplers aren't going to be in range and you can probably just BART out 3 of them or something. Anyways, that's all for me. Thank you for tuning in. Just a reminder, there is more awesome warships stuff coming, and managed to get times like 3 minutes, 38 seconds fairly consistently. So don't forget, destroy those NPCs, pick up the intel for your task force. I shall talk to you soon. Thanks for coming in. I'm zmoT. Peace!